Esse aqui é o rolê que a gente dá.
This is Brazil.
Ó, isso aqui é o rolê que a gente faz em Sampa na live. Toyota Supra no Brasil?
I've heard it's home to one of the most unique and surprising car cultures in the world. I've never even heard of half the cars here, and the way they're building and modifying these cars is completely unique to Brazil.
Yo, this thing is crazy. But why? Why is it so different? Well, I'm here in Sao Paulo to figure that out. I'm gonna meet the locals, I'm gonna check out the car scene, and hopefully, if I'm lucky, I'll get my hands on the wheel of one of these crazy Brazilian rides.
Police is coming, so we have to...
Ó, o posto que a gente foi lá, tá ligado?
So this is Sao Paulo, a city with a population of over 12 million. That's more than New York and Los Angeles combined. I'll be spending the next few days here. The first thing I need to do is go find one of those 12 million. My good friend G, who's worked for Donut for years now. Let's go find him.
Bizarro, né, mano? O bagulho é maior do que Los Angeles e Nova York juntas.
G will be our guide for the next few days. He showed us around the city, and we got acquainted with some of the locals. But I didn't come all the way to Sao Paulo to do 360 flips. I came here for some cars.
Nossa.
G has arranged for us to check out a local tuning shop on the other side of the city. One of the first things you'll notice here is the insane amount of Volkswagens.
It's a Saveiro.
Saveiro,
It's
yeah, okay,
a
I've heard of that.
utility version of a Gol.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that buzz.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Do you know how late they made that kind of thing?
Oh, it's like 5 years back or something.
Really?
I mean, not 5, but like,
Yeah,
it's
recently,
recent, yeah.
Volkswagen of Brazil operates independently from Germany, and most of the models are completely unique to the Brazilian market. It's actually Brazil's biggest car company, and the most popular model is this, the Gol. No, not the Golf, the Gol. It's just like a Golf, but a little smaller, a little less fancy, and a little cheaper. Not
Ou seja, um de pobre, né?
only is the
Eric,
Gol
obrigado
Brazil's
pelo
most
sub.
popular car, it's also their most popular tuner car. The shop we're going to is called Arved's Garage, and they specialize in V-dubs like these.
All right, we're here at Arved's Garage. Arved, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We're gonna check out some of the Volkswagens he's working on down here in Brazil. Awesome, well, that's a good looking build.
Yeah, nice cars. This is a Polo GTI. You don't have Polos in the US.
we
Yeah,
don't.
small car, but it's very fun to drive.
Ooh, yeah,
VR6.
VR6. Wow, so you guys do basically everything here.
Yes.
I miss doing body work. I don't do it anymore.
Hey, if you want, I have a lot of job.
Clearly, these dudes love Volkswagens, but they don't always get the parts we do when it comes to modifying them. So sometimes they have
Obrigado,
to get a
Ike,
little
pelo
crafty.
sub, mano.
So they don't have easy access to slotted brake rotors, so they slot them themselves on their little mill here, which is pretty cool. That's a good way to do it.
The reason they even have to do this stuff is because foreign products are heavily taxed, and that's why you really don't see that many imported cars. Brazil is a proudly independent country, and over the years has levied taxes and embargoes to support Brazilian automotive industry and reduce dependence on foreign markets. If you want to import a car like a 350Z or an E36, you can expect to pay nearly double once you factor in all the taxes. And then getting parts for those cars can be a nightmare. That doesn't stop determined enthusiasts from importing them, but for the majority of car people, options are limited, so they just work with what they got.
So it might seem like it's kind of the only type of car here in Brazil, but that's not really the case. I think we're gonna go find ourselves a little bit of a car meet and see what else is out there. First
Pequeno
off,
encontro de
thank you
carro.
to Nissan for sponsoring today's video. Second off,
Caralho, o cara fazendo um vídeo sobre rachas ilegais. Patrocínio, Nissan.
it's literally bread, meat, bread. How is that not a sandwich?
A hot dog is sideways.
Bala,
though.
obrigado
To be a
pelo
sandwich,
sub.
you have to assemble it vertically, not horizontally.
Calling pizza a sandwich because it also has cheese and bread in it.
No way, Jose.
You're wrong, dude.
You're wrong, dude. Okay, so by your description, an eclair
Pô, esse
would be
Nissan
a
tem
sandwich.
aqui no Brasil
Don't put
mesmo?
words into my mouth, Jerry.
Your whole horizontal vertical debate doesn't make any sense. That means that if I had a pastrami on rye and I turned it 90 degrees, that it would stop being a sandwich.
How about this? Go to a ballpark, okay? Go order you a nice, juicy hot dog sandwich and watch them laugh you right out of the place.
They would also laugh at me if I asked for a hamburger sandwich, but that doesn't make a hamburger not a sandwich.
Yeah, because it isn't.
You think a hamburger's not a sandwich? It's clearly a sandwich.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Let's go ask some people.
Okay, let's go.
The Nissan Ariya comes with available Pro Pilot Assist 2.0 and Pro Pilot Park, so you can focus on the road and everything else that matters. To learn more about the Nissan Ariya, click the link below.
Agora vamos para o
As the
rolê
night
da
falls, we
noite.
head to one of the local.
Mano, tem alguém que é de São Paulo que participaria disso fácil? Tá ligado? Eu acho que seria legal, mano. A gente marcar um dia pra fazer um encontro, tá ligado? Se eu tivesse carro, iria. Não, pra galera conhecer também, né? Mesmo que o cara não tenha carro, vai lá de busão pra tirar uma foto, tá ligado? Também se não for muito longe, né? Se for muito longe, fudeu.
Gas stations. G tells me this is where the local car scene gets together
Agora,
every
oposto
Thursday
lá.
night, which is the unofficial car night in Sao Paulo. And tonight is Wednesday. But we called a few friends and invited them out anyway.
Tava vazio, ó. Oxe, do nada chegou.
It's all happening, baby. Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. Well, that thing's sick, huh? It's crazy, you know? Crazy. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Yeah.
Caralho, mano.
And I had a low car sticker on it. Oh, nice shirt. Hey, nice to meet you, man. Woo! I recognize that setup a little bit.
My father wanted to thank you about that video you guys made about the oil stains in the ground.
Oh, nice. I love that. They're coming out of the woodwork.
Is this normal here?
Yeah, it's normal.
End of the 80s. As you may notice, there are cars like 350Zs and E36s that we all know and love, but I also want to see stuff like this. And this is what you see most of the time. When you're out on the streets, these are all over the roads. Take a peek down there.
Caralho.
Turbo. 330 to the wheels. I'm assuming this is running on ethanol? Yeah. All right, so that big turbo explains why this thing is sitting the way it is. So this is a front wheel drive car. They rake these out to get a little bit more weight on the front so that they have more traction. And I've heard this is just the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. I hear there are people making 600-700 horsepower. And part of that is because of the ethanol, but part of that's because these people are crazy.
And then this guy showed up. This right here is a Chevy Opala, a car that was made and sold here in Brazil for decades. Just like Volkswagen, there's also a GM of Brazil that makes completely different cars from what we get in the States.
Tá louco, olha isso aí,
What
mano.
makes the Opala so special is that it's rear-wheel drive.
Tá
There are
puro, tá
barely
puro.
any rear-wheel drive cars made in Brazil, so enthusiasts absolutely love them. And the owner of this one just asked Max and I if we wanted to hop in the car for a ride, so of course we said yes. And based on all the people whipping out their phones, I'm starting to think maybe I should have said no.
I see there's no seatbelts back here.
Or up here.
Que isso, mano.
Okay, so we didn't
Foi o jogo de pneu, foi a gasolina, foi tudo, foi o asfalto.
know he was gonna do that. If I knew the car didn't have seatbelts and the dude was about to go full Vin Diesel on us, yeah, maybe I would have thought again. But we are already in the car, so there's no going back now.
It's going crazy right now.
Police is coming, so we have to.
Time to go.
Time to go.
Parece uma parada totalmente legal, mano. Tipo assim, polícia tá vindo, vambora, cada um pra um lado.
Oh, that was interesting. But there's something else interesting about these gas station car meets. The gas.
Look at that. Ethanol.
Or more specifically, the ethanol. Remember how Brazil wants to reduce reliance on foreign markets? Well, a huge part of that is offering Brazilian-made sugarcane ethanol at the fuel pumps, and this has been the case here since the gas crisis in the 70s. This sugar fuel makes up about 40% of the country's transportation fuel, and nearly all new cars are able to run it, and most old cars, like the ones we've seen here tonight, have been modified to accept it. And the thing with ethanol is, you can make a lot more horsepower than with gas. And that's part of the reason these guys are able to squeeze so much power out of these tiny little engines. So how much power can you actually squeeze out of these little engines? Well, our next stop is a shop that's building 4-cylinders with more power than just about anything at this gas station meet. And they focus on a specific 4-cylinder, the most popular one in Brazil, the Volkswagen AP engine. We're here at Made for Street Motorsports, and the owner, Robinho, has some pretty interesting AP-powered cars to show us.
This thing is so clean. It looks like it's fresh off
Ó,
the
tem
showroom
uma
floor.
BMWzinha ali.
This is a Volkswagen Saveiro,
Ó,
a
Saveirinha.
little stubby
Hein?
pickup truck version of the Gull.
Can you imagine having one of these in the
Obrigado,
States? It'd be
Linda.
so cool. All right.
In this engine, they're using motorcycle pistons.
Oh, and the ITB setup, is that?
Those are made in Brazil for this type of
Yeah,
setup.
as a modification?
Yes.
Fires right up. Okay.
Pronto, foi o
Oh
combustível.
yeah. That's cool. That's a big turbo for this little thing.
So everything here is forged in Brazil.
Yeah.
Like the whole block, everything's for 1,000.
Go for 1,000.
It's the only car that doesn't run because of it's the ownership car. So
Yeah, that's how it always is. I understand.
Shall we move on to this?
Yeah, this thing is awesome.
Ó. Caralho.
All right, just keeps getting crazier and crazier.
So it's clear that they're making big power with these little 4-cylinders. But how are they doing it? Well, with all this stuff. The AP engine has a huge amount of aftermarket support. Unsurprisingly, all this stuff is made right here in Brazil. From the pistons, to the rods, to the valves, to the entire head, and everything in between, Brazilian companies have done everything they can to squeeze the most juice out of these APs.
These are awesome.
And that's why the AP is the go-to choice to swap into just about any car, not just Volkswagens. It's kind of like the LS swap of Brazil.
Well, this thing sounds awesome. We made, I think it was about 450 wheel horsepower on low boost, which is 36 PSI. High boost is 50 PSI and supposedly makes somewhere in the ballpark of 650 wheel horsepower, which is crazy.
And you want to know something? I want to see some of these insane AP engines in action.
Yes,
I must drive one. And to do that, G has one more thing up his sleeve to cap off our tour of Brazil.
Esse Supra aí, velho.
We've been having an absolute blast in Brazil so far, but we got one thing left to do, and that's have a big drift party with everybody we've met along the way. So we rented out the local track, and we invited everybody we've met along the way and all their friends with all their crazy cars. So it's time to see some of these wild Brazilian builds in action. And I hear I might get to experience the AP engine for myself. I'm excited. Can you tell?
Caralho, o drift deve ser pica, né, velho?
O Zé que tá onde?
We've seen Volkswagen Golfs, we've seen Chevy Opalas, but this is the first time I've seen this. It's a Chevy Chevette, and it's one of the most popular drift cars in Brazil. We did get the Chevette in the States for a few years, and they didn't really catch on. But in Brazil, they were produced for decades, and like I mentioned earlier, Brazilian-made rear-wheel drive cars are pretty hard to come by. So for a lot of drift enthusiasts, this is their AE86. This one was built as a tribute to Takami's 86 from Initial D. You probably won't be surprised to find out that it's powered by an AP engine, so he can make good, cheap, ethanol-fueled power. And guess what? He just said I can drive it myself. I'm finally gonna get to see what it's like to drive a Brazilian drift car.
All right, before I hop in the driver's seat of an AP engine-powered car, I just wanted to say this.
Obrigado,
there are
André.
obviously a lot of reasons for Brazil's super unique car culture, but at the end of the day, they're just doing what they can with what they have, which is true pretty much anywhere in the world. We had a blast making this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it nearly as much as we enjoyed making it. And if you did, let me know where you want to see us go next in the comments, because we want to go. Now, it's time to go get behind the wheel of a Brazilian AE86, which the owner told me is the hardest to drift car in the world.
Tu viu que o Greg tá vendendo o GTR? Acho que é anúncio fake, pô. É só pegar a foto e jogar no bagulho lá.
I'm gonna take it easy. I'm just gonna try to keep this thing on track and enjoy it.
Caralho. Olha. Caralho, que da hora, né, mano?
want to send a special thank you to all our friends that made this trip possible. From G to Arved and Luis, a Made for Street Performance Shop, Jamie Orr helped us plan the thing out, and all the people of Brazil for welcoming us to your country. Now, there's only one way to end a sick drift meet, and that's a 900 horsepower Supra burnout. Hit it!
Da hora, mano. Da hora, velho.